Good morning. Really, really pretty day today. I'm doing a lot of stuff around my house because work's been, they needed me last week. I worked one extra day. That's the first extra shift I worked in the last probably month and a half maybe. So, I've just been doing a lot of projects around my house. I rebuilt my fence on the side. It looks wonderful. I just power washed my deck and stained it, put the second coat of stain on this morning, making it look it looked kind of spotty now because it some of the old paint came off. But you know, it's that old stuff's got to come off, or it'll just start rotting underneath it. So anyway, things start getting old, they start getting spotty. But I was just gonna make a quick video. I haven't been making videos. I've kind of, again, I keep going into this period where I think maybe I should stop making them. But it's really about community, and I think some of us feel like, we don't have a real connection. Um, the heartfulness centers and stuff around here are far away from my house. For me to go get a personal sitting um, is about a 45-minute drive each way. It's just kind of prohibitive. It's hard for me to just, spend half my day going out and going to a meditation thing and come back. It's just the traffic's crazy. Um, so the reason I make the videos is I need a feeling of connection a little bit, and um, nothing else, nothing more. I'm not, I don't know anything special. I don't know anything really. I mean, hardly anything at all. Um, but it's an opportunity to connect, and I think that it's important. I mean, for me, I go back and forth on it, and I want to share, just share the, beautiful day and our lives, or these beautiful things. I had an experience once. It was after I went and saw Chiranjeeva. The guy I got, he was actually he actually spent time with Babaji. So anyway, he gave me a meditation sitting. I went out and saw him a couple times, and like I said, it's pretty far away. It's about 45-minute drive, and I was having some personal doubts, and you know how we do. It just goes back and forth. You start thinking, oh man, is this really the life I'm supposed to be living? And I was at work, and this is like the day after the next day, and I was getting off the elevator, and all of a sudden, just popped into my mind that it was like a special jewel, like a special gem, that my life was designed specially for me, and there's nothing left to chance. It was just a beautiful, perfect, perfect for me, and it had been designed that way. And to think of our creator as caring so much, everything seems kind of impersonal, um, but to think of our creator as creating this life that was just special for us, even the things that were good, the things that were bad, the ups, the downs, it's designed to make to make us grow the most we could possibly grow, right? And anyway, that was a really powerful experience, and I attribute it to going and being with Chiranjeeva. And when I sat down and meditate with him, all I could think the whole time I was meditating was my back hurt because the chair was uncomfortable. And yet, what was imparted was something very powerful. And it's just funny, you have these expectations, but all I could think of the whole time I'm sitting there doing the meditation was, man, my back, this is a really uncomfortable chair. I don't like this chair. I mean, that's kind of what I thought about the whole time. And I'm thinking, man, I'm supposed to be having this really deep experience and this really profound experience. It wasn't profound at all. It was like, I have to admit, when I first closed my eyes to do the meditation, it was like, wow, you got to, I don't know if it was his like aura or whatever you want to call it, but it was just like this bam, this that golden light kind of clarity was just the whole room. And anyway, but then it was like, oh, my back, my back, my back. It's funny, huh? How it's like that. But I watched it was Babaji's birthday celebration this last week, and they're still showing stuff today. But it was all virtual because of the coronavirus, so everything was online. So they did a lot of meditations. Um, they did. Daji did a lot of talks on the 10 maxims, and he's still doing those. They're on day ninth maxim today, and the maxims are just like little spiritual guides, and to help us, kind of get the most out of our practice, kind of like, tuning up your car to get the most performance. And it's nothing in there is like, it's not like the 10 Commandments where, it's like so draconian, like thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. It's more like, okay, do this to maximize this and do that to maximize that. It's more about doing little simple things to maximize performance. And anyway, I'm going to review all those. But they also had the Life of Babaji, so they had a 5-part series, and I'm on part 5. I finished part 4 last night, and it just goes through Babaji's life, and it's well acted. It's like I said, it's not super high quality. It's not, it wasn't the production value is low. Probably didn't cost a lot, but it's very well done, very well acted. And there's a lot of little nuggets of wisdom that Babaji is imparting through the whole thing. All these quotes from Babaji and things he said to people, and it is really good. And I needed to hear some of it again. One of the things it was about mantra meditation, and people were asking, "Well, Babaji, I learned mantra meditation, but can I do mantra meditation and do this Sahaj Marg?" And he said, "No, don't do two channels." He said, "Just do one." He said, if something's not working for you, it's okay to leave, It's okay to move on to something else. You shouldn't stay stuck with a quote unquote guru just because you feel guilty or you feel like you know, um, if it's not working for you, you should move on. This is for your development, and I really like that. I like the openness of it. Well, Sahaj Marg is all about love. It's not about control. It's all about love. And you always have individuals who will interject their own insecurities into things and make it about something it's not. And I think that's one of the reasons I've been kind of reticent about getting into a group of people and that. But you got to look at it like a support network, and maybe I need to reach out more. My daughter came to me the other day and said, "Oh, Dad, I'm kind of thinking about doing this meditation." And I was like, okay, I'll find out, you know. So I texted my preceptor, and he said, yeah, you can either have, I can either do it or you can do it the online like I did, where you do the master class with Daji. It's a 3-part class, which I think is great because it basically, the 3-part class, you get a lot of information along with it. So it's not just the meditation, but you're getting some really good information, and I think it's important to have some fundamentals, in place, as you go before you go. It gives you a little bit more background on it, and so anyway. But she's like, well, I don't know if I'm, she's a teenager. So well, I'm not sure I'm going to do it, but I'm just saying, it's kind of funny. I said, okay, I'm not going to say another word. She can come to me with it, not come to me with it. But, I think that, the people around you can see a change, see a difference. And, like I said, I did TM for all those years, and I just couldn't, I don't know, it's just, I couldn't, I didn't feel like I was making progress. At the end of the day, when I finally quit doing meditation and started doing Sahaj Marg, I wasn't feeling like I was making any progress whatsoever. So, it's time to get off the bus and get on the train. It's time to get off the train and get on the airplane. It's time to move on to something else. And I'm the kind of person I'll kind of stick with something, and even when it's not working, I'll stick with it. And sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes that's a bad thing. And so it's sometimes you just have to move on. And um, so it was kind of interesting that she wanted to even ask about it. So that's a good thing. I think it's a sign of my practice, that I'm developing and changing and growing, and um, I'm becoming more loving to my family and more open-hearted, and not so bogged down in negativities, and the samskaras, I guess you could say, are being released and loosened, and maybe ways we don't even know. I mean, we can't know. We don't want to know. I mean, we really don't want to know. It's like watching we really don't want to know. It's it's uh it's better just to have it removed. But last night I woke up. I think it was almost a full moon, and I just couldn't sleep. It was like 2 o'clock, and I do this periodically where I'll wake up and can't sleep. And but last night I had watched that video, the fourth episode of the Babaji Life of Babaji, and so I was kind of inspired, to. So I sat up in my bed and meditated for about an hour. I don't even know how long, and then went back to sleep and slept really good. But you could really feel that godly. I was laying there and I just thought, man, I just started thinking about God and thinking about receiving pranahuti and just letting that energy come in. And it's just amazing how just the thought of it starts to flow towards you. It's like it's always there. It's always just right there, and it's about just receiving, opening up to it. That's what remembrance is really all about. It's just opening to that energy and letting that because it's always there. It's always sitting there. It's just like it's just potential energy, and it's just sitting there all the time waiting. And it's non-intrusive, so it's not going to come uninvited. And it's just nice to be able to just open up to that and receive that in the middle of the night instead of sitting there, obsessing about world problems and all these issues going on in the world and the politics and all that. And it's it's nice. It's a nice shift for me. It's been a long time since I just sat up and meditated. Maybe that's just what I need to start doing. And I remember Paul said that from Pockets of the Future. He said something about it's really a powerful time to meditate. In the middle of the night like that when you're not able to sleep, just sit up and meditate, receive that pranahuti and receive that energy. And I could feel a lot in my chest area. Could feel a lot of sensation. And I don't know. I don't know what else to say really, but yeah, watch that Babaji thing if you get a chance. He said it's not super high production quality, but it's well acted and it has a lot of things in it. I think it kind of highlights a lot of the big main points. Another thing that was interesting too is I think the importance of journaling and writing things down. Babaji is real big about writing things down and transcribing things, and he received communication from a lot of saints and um, from the other world, from the higher realms, and he was in constant communication with his teacher, Lalaji. So he was always in communication, and I think it kind of gives us kind of a template of how we can live. I mean, I think it's not crazy to maybe have an inner dialogue with um, whoever you consider to be your teacher. I just kind of I kind of consider Babaji to be kind of my teacher at this point. I mean, Kamlesh, obviously, I mean, he's the current president, and I received the transmission from him, and it was very powerful. And when I did the master classes, it was really awesome. I remember I look at my journal from that time and what I wrote down, and it was really cool. And but I've been kind of inspired to start journaling again. I bought a special notebook just for my meditation journal, and I bought one for my dream journal, and I've been kind of lazy about writing my dreams down, but I will say my dreams have become much more vivid, and I'm remembering them much more. And not that it means anything, but it's kind of fun, and I think it does give you, it can give you some insight, a little more than, just ho hum life and just, it kind of gives you a little more subtlety to your mind and realizing the workings of your mind. And I think that can be valuable, and it's fun. It's kind of fun, like a little hobby. Um, but we're supposed to be creative beings. We're not just supposed to be receiving all the time, but we're supposed to be creating also. And not just on the level of, creating physical things, but um, you know, creating more subtle energy. This loving energy is really the main thing, I think. And I think that this this path is kind of just chock full of that. And like I said, you can do other things and develop this subtle loving energy. Um, but it it's nice to have the guidance and the direction. And it's really personalized. I mean, what I've found is being on my own has been kind of good too, because everything's really personalized. Like you don't have any other choice, because you don't have a bunch of people around you. When I learned TM, I always had a group around me. They had like group meditations, and I had a teacher that I went to, the one I learned TM from, and we would do meditation together, and and then I went to Maharishi International University, which was in Iowa, and it was um, just a whole campus of people meditating, and so it just created this whole like almost this mythology around it. It's like uh, an indoctrination, and I don't want to say cult like, but it's people just would run with stuff, like, oh well, Maharishi said this, and oh, Maharishi said that. And, like, it's kind of cool to have some guidance and stuff like that, but you don't know the context of what was something was said, and you don't know. I mean, I know I did the whole vegetarian thing, and tried to be really on the program, and there's a lot of value to that. But honestly, I will say that the most growth I've ever had has been in the last, I, I, since I started Sahaj Marg, undoubtedly the most growth I've had, and on a spiritual level. And like I said, I still feel like I'm in the infancy stages. But you have to look at the other things and say, oh, yeah, those things set the stage for this. So that's important to understand too, is one thing doesn't preclude the other. It's quite the opposite. Sometimes you have to have one experience to build on another experience. I mean, you can see this in relationships, and a lot of people will go through one relationship, and I believe it prepares them for the next relationship. It's a growth thing, and that's why it's hard with your family and stuff sometimes, because to hold on and hang in there, sometimes you become estranged from family and stuff, because you'll grow, or they'll grow, or something will change, and the family never goes away. Your mom is always your mom, your dad is always your dad. And so if they can't make the adjustment, or you can't make the adjustment to their personality and things, it creates estrangement and difficulties. And the thing about a spiritual family, you're all kind of on this trajectory together, and so you have more of an open mindedness. Although I look at um, this guy that I knew doing TM all these years, and he's actually the one that got me started TM. And when I told him about my experience, and he's real big time in the TM movement. He's a TM teacher, and that's his like full time job as TM teacher. And um, when I told him about my experience with the heartfulness, he just got completely defensive, and um, it's like he couldn't wrap his head around the fact that I found something that was working for me. And I was, it's kind of interesting because here's somebody who you think, oh, they're so, he's been doing meditation 25 years, 30 years, he's a TM teacher, and yet very close-minded, right? It's his way or the highway, and that's not a good place to be. And so it's you got to be able to cut. Yeah, I mean, I still I would be open to communication with him now because it'd be great. We talk about things that I don't talk about with other people, and kind of like the things I share on this video. And but he's he's for whatever reason decided that it's offensive that I found something that's working better for me. I don't understand that. I can't understand it because if I had a friend and they figured out a better way of doing something for them, I wouldn't take offense. I'd be like, God, that's great. Good for you. And my best friend just retired. He's only 51 years old and he's got full retirement. And I could sit there and go, oh man, oh, you're already retired. Oh, you should be doing something. You should be working, and just because I have to work. No, I think it's awesome. Man, I'm not even envious. I'm just super proud of him. I'm super happy and proud. I'm proud of him for, setting goals and getting his ducks in a row. I mean, what an awesome accomplishment. And now he has free time, and he can fish. He's an artist. He's a musician. And he can do all these things that, when he was working, he couldn't do. So I don't understand the concept of something's not working for somebody and they move on to something better, and you just drop them out of your life. I just don't get that. It's just, to me, it seems really juvenile, really immature and juvenile. And but like I said, Sahaj Marg is, to me, just changed my life. And um, I watched like I said, watching those videos is really great. I'm gonna watch some more today. Journaling and start journaling more. I've been, after my meditation, trying to remember to journal. Still not doing it perfectly. And anyway, I hope you all have a good day.